Hello friends, welcome to our official channel of CLAT Gurukul, and I'm Nilanjan, and today I'm going to deal with day 10 lecture of our English lecture series, and I'll be discussing today the parajumble sections. As you know that in parajumble or rearranging of sentences, number of questions may come in that particular segment in English. So you should be preparing yourself in such a way that you should understand the logical thinking so that you can correlate the sentences and you will find the answer easily. So without wasting time, let us discuss question number 1. Here you find the question. First point is written over there, the initial sentence or the beginning one. Music is one of the oldest and finest forms of human expression. 4 options are given below, P, Q, R, S, and at the end, the ending sentence is also given. This style gave an entirely new dimension to Hindustani classical music tradition. Now, my dear friend, first sentence, music is one of the oldest and finest forms of human expression. As you go through the entire paragraph, as you go through the sentences written as in the option form, you find that the passage is all about the music, the musical culture, how it has evolved in India, and similar kind of things are happening over there. So, according to the first sentence, the beginner one, it is written, music is one of the oldest and finest forms of human expression. Directly, it has the connection with option R. Why am I saying like that? Just try to understand the tricks. Once you use a particular thing for the first time, the name is given over there, like we are highlighting music. And the next sentence, automatically, it will be replaced by a pronoun. And here in option R, you find a pronoun, it is it. So, let us start with R. It can be divided into Western classical, Hindustani classical, Carnatic classical, and folk, etc. And after that, it will be followed by S. The main schools of classical music, because you find the keywords over there, Western classical. So classical music, Hindustani and the Carnatic continue to survive through oral tradition being passed on by teachers to disciples. Right. Now, so you have the combination like RS. And after that, this has led to the existence of family traditions called gharanas. Now, if we are talking about Western classical music, Hindustani classical music, and so many, definitely there is the creation of different kind of gharanas. If a singer is very much famous in a particular segment, we do often call him that he is from that gharana. So this once again just is behaving like a pronoun, and this has a connection with S. So definitely your combination will be R, S, then it goes to Q, and after that P. A new form of Hindustani music known as Khayal merged during the 13th and 14th centuries. So your right combination will be R, S, Q, P, and it is written option C. So the correct answer will be option C. Moving to question number 2. The first sentence, 6 options are given over there in the form of A, B, C, D, E, F. And as you go through the sentences or the options, you find that it is the new kind of system. It is the passage is highlighting the education system and how the pattern is behaving like that. So, the first sentence is written over here. Educating children through experiential learning is a new approach to schooling these days. My dear friend, if you go through schooling, you will find different kind of systems are existing over there. Now, an innovative approach has been adopted by different schools. So, beginner will be educating children through experiential learning is the new approach to school these days, and it's present, and it is the highlighting factor of the entire passage. So, let us start with A. Now, after that, it has, once you were just into experiential learning, so definitely it will create some doubt as well as confirmation in the mind of the parents. So definitely the sentence or the option which is written over there in D, unconventional parents opt for this way of educating their children. Conventional parents, they are not supposed to take this kind of, they are not supposed to avail this kind of education system. But those who are unconventional parents, that they will definitely opt for this way of educating their children. So A has direct connection with D because it's a feeling of contradiction over there. Now it will be followed by C. This method, now this particular word, it is used as a pronoun, and this method, what kind of method? The method which has already been mentioned over there, experiential learning method. This method also makes the child an independent thinker and an independent decision maker. As my dear friend, as we are talking about experiential learning, at the same time you have been taught, and at the same time you are acting. It means that action is associated with that particular thing. So this method we are talking about. So directly the combination is A, D, C. And after that, if you go through option B, you find that people feel far less reliant on the classroom plus teacher model, and far from comfortable knowing they have to provide a supportive learning environment. Now, continuously, if you are harping on the same string, the same pattern is getting practiced, then the children, definitely the school children will start boring over there. So you need to change a little bit. Now, option A, D, C, then comes B, because they are comfortable. They will have to be provided a supportive learning environment over there. Followed by E. Some parents prefer to take curriculum on the road, others use the world around them as the curriculum. It is the personal opinion of the parents, and it has been highlighted over there. So A, D, C, B, E, and finally these parents. Now once again you just concentrate in this particular word like these, THESE, demonstrative pronoun. Now demonstrative pronoun will be replacing the noun, and initially, if we have already discussed in sentence E, it starts with some parents, and you are highlighting this category of parents. So finally we can say the correct option will be option A, which is A, D, C, B, E, F. My dear friend, you have to understand the logical sequence. You have to find out the combination. You have to find out the keywords. And if you find the pronoun, definitely you have to keep in mind that these kind of pronouns will replace the noun. So finally, the correct answer is option A. Moving to question number 3. As you find, when he was only 3 years old, Mozart could pick out melodies on a clavichord. Now my dear friend, if you go through the entire passage, you will find that how a child has been developed into a great musician, and the name is itself very famous, and we are talking about Mozart, right? So first sentence, the initial one, when he was only 3 years old, Mozart could pick out melodies on a clavichord, right? Now if we are just getting ahead, if we go through, you will find that the next sentence will be option R. By 7, he had learned to play the violin and organ without instruction. Now he is replacing the first name. I have already discussed. The name was Mozart, and you were replacing that word by a pronoun, and he is there. By 7, he had learned to play the violin and organ without instruction. So he is replacing Mozart. So you are starting with R. Now already you have discussed by 7. So 7 years have gone, and after that, the next option you are supposed to pick that P. While he was a very young child, he had started to compose music, right? So my dear friend, after reaching at the age of 7, and still he is in the young stage, and at that particular stage, after learning something, he had started to compose music. So it has direct connection. So your combination is flowing like RP, right? And after that, it has direct connection with Q. He published the first composition when he was 12. Already we have talked about starting with 3 years old, reaching out at the age of 7, and after that a young child, and then gradually he is getting mature over there. And when he was 12, he first published the first composition, right? So your combination is going like R, P, Q. And then only one option is left, that is S. By the time he was a young man, he had played concerts in most of the Europe's great cities. Now when you have got the maturity, when you have got the perfection, you were just organizing, you were taking participation at the concerts, and it is already mentioned in option C. And finally, the last sentence which is given over there in the number 6, it was evident that he was a prodigy and a musical genius. So my dear friend, the coherent passage and the correct option will be RPQS, and it is written in option B. It's very easy to get through the entire passage. It's very easy to have the connection if you concentrate a little bit, because you have to find out the keywords. I'm highlighting, you have to find out the keywords, and definitely the passage gives the idea that how you have to proceed. Moving to question number 4. The first sentence, which is the beginner, materially, advertisements do us no good. Now, advertisements have two different kind of aspects. First one, you were talking about materially, and then you were talking about spiritually. Now, how it has the effect on human being, or how it has the effect on the goods. Right. So, first sentence is given, materially, advertisements do us no good. On the other hand, if we compare the spiritually, how they are affecting, so option Q, it starts with the word like spiritually. So if you are considering materially, and after that it should be followed by spiritually. Now if you go through the option segments, in the answer segments, B and D, two options start with Q. Okay, fine. Let's move on. The next connecting sentence will be R. Why is it so? Our buildings are covered with prints and pictures that distract and weary us. Right. Because our buildings are covered with different kind of prints, and those are the parts of the advertisement, and it contains the pictures that distract and weary us. And most of the time we often get that kind of pictures, and it distracts us. So Q has connection with R in a flow. So you are going through QR, and after that, architects might give their designs dignity or the beauty of the pattern. Of course, if you want to have some perfection, you need to contact with the specialist, and in this particular segment, architects might give their designs dignity or the beauty of the pattern. They are really concerned about that particular fact. And if we are talking about our buildings are covered with prints and pictures, then it is the function of the architects to have such kind of design. Then definitely the passage flow is Q, R, S, and finally you have one sentence left. That is option P. The advertisements tread closely on their heels and destroy its effect. It will be the next sentence. So your option is Q, R, then S, P, and the concluding sentence is already given. They have but one requirement, that their intrusion should be conspicuous. Definitely it should be like that. So the correct answer will be Q, R, S, P, and it is written in option D. My dear friend, let us move to question number 5. The beginning one and the ending one, two different sentences are given over there. Let's start with the beginning one. Some people prefer country life to city life. Now, if you go through the options like PQRS, you will find that it's clear-cut comparison between the country life and the city life. Now, let us start with option P. As it has been mentioned already in S1, the beginning one, some people prefer country life to city life. So dominant factor is country life because preference is over there. So definitely the next sentence is to have a connection with that country. And P option says that life in the country is quieter, cleaner and less hectic. So it will be the first option, that is P. And P will be the correct sequence. In a first position, it should be P. And after that, if you go through the option like S, country people live longer and generally seem to be healthier and happier. Now, my dear friend, if you are talking about the plus point or the positive aspects of country life, you have to discuss the features of country and what the people who are living in the country, what kind of amenities and facilities they are getting over there, and what is the effect on their health. So option S clearly states about that. So the sequence is going like P, S. Now, on the other hand, on the other perspective, if we talk about the city, option Q is there and option R is also there. Now, however, cannot be the next sentence. Why? Because before that, there must have been a fact, and in that particular connection, however, will be there. So, let us talk about option R. Now, however, the city offers more excitement, a wide variety of activities and a chance to meet more people. Now, already you have talked about the country life and the people of country. Now, you were giving a contrasting effect over there. So, you are having contradictory factor over there. The next sentence will be, however, the city offers more excitement, a wide variety of activities and a chance to meet more people. So, your answer is flowing in that particular pattern like P, S, R. And finally, the city also offers more privacy since neighbors are too busy to be interfering in the affairs of the others. It is also the features of the city life. So, your answer will be P, S, R, Q. And after that, the concluding sentence, if you go through that, it is written, for these reasons, more and more people are leaving the country to live in the city. Fine. Now, if we talk about the correct answer, if you go through the option, you will find that P, S, R, Q. And clear cut, it is written in option A. So, my dear friend, the correct answer will be option A. One suggestion from my side, that whenever you go through the entire passage, you just take into consideration some factor over there. There might have been some cause-effect relationship. There might have been some just replacement of the noun by the pronouns, and there must be some logical reasoning or connectivity over there. You have to find out clearly. I hope whatever has been discussed, definitely you have understood. If you are satisfied with that, you please share your feeling on YouTube channel.